So hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss about the multi-level inheritance. That is one of the essential features of C++ programming, that is inheritance, and there are several types of inheritance uh, out of which I am going to discuss multi-level inheritance in this video. So what is basically a multi-level inheritance? That is when a class inherits from a derived class, and that is a class derives from another class which in turn is derived from yet another class, then the inheritance is termed multi-level inheritance. So basically we can consider to be the multi-level inheritance in a simple way as a class which can be considered to be a base class having some features in it, some data members and some member functions in it, and there will be a derived class which will be derived from that base class. And suppose that derived class is the derived class number 1, and out of which we can use that derived class as a base class to another derived class, that is the derived class number 2. So that derived class number 2, so that the entire thing becomes like this: the derived class number 2 is derived from the derived class number 1, and the derived class number 1 is being derived from the base class. So this is the simple way of showing you or making you understand what is the concept behind this multi-level inheritance. But I will definitely show you with the help of an illustrative C++ program the concept of multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance, which will be implemented in the program. So in order to know the features and know the implementation correctly, you need to get to study the C++ program with me. So let's get started with the program and explain you line by line the code of the program so that you can easily understand the concept of multi-level inheritance. So let's get started. Multi-level inheritance program which I have written for you in order to make you understand the concept. So these are the lines which are the file inclusion directive. You hash include iostream using namespace std, and after that I have declared a class student under which there will be protected data members char name 30. So this is an array, character array of dimension 30, and there is an integer variable roll underscore no. This is the suppose this is for the name of the student and this is for the roll number of the student. After that I have declared two functions, get data and put data, under the public section, which I will define it later outside the scope of this, outside the class body. And this is the get data function which I have defined over here. Void student scope resolution operator get data. This is nothing but taking the input of the name and the roll number from the end user. So this is the get data function, and whatever is the put data function is nothing but displaying the value of the name and the roll number. So this is the put data function. So after that I have derived this exam class in the public mode from the base class student, class exam colon public student, under which I have taken four data members which I have taken in the protected visibility, taken under the protected visibility modifier. That is the number obtained by a student in different subjects like physics, chemistry, maths and computer science. I have taken four subjects for the sake of simplicity. There can be many other subjects as well along with these subjects, but in this program I have taken four subjects. So whatever is the marks obtained by any particular student in physics, chemistry, maths and computer science will be associated with these data members. And here are two functions, void getMarks and void putMarks. As you can easily understand by the name of the class itself, that it is nothing but the input function of taking marks from the keyboard and displaying the marks obtained by any particular student by this putMarks function. So I have written that outside the class exam in this manner: void exam get marks, enter marks in physics, C in physics, enter marks in chemistry, C in chemistry. And in this manner I have taken taken the marks of other two subjects, that is the maths and computer science as well. After that I have displayed the marks obtained in physics is physics, the marks obtained in chemistry, chemistry, like this. So this is basically a very simple concept, nothing more to explain about it. After that, I have derived yet another class, that is the result class, from the first derived class, that is the exam class, in the public mode. Class result public exam, class result public exam, under which I have taken a data member, above which there is no mentioning of any access specifier or visibility modifier. So this will be by default a private data member, and I have taken it to be private because there will be no requirement in this program, as I will not get this result class to be a base class of any other derived class from it. So naturally there will be no question of deriving these total into any other derived class from it, because I have taken this to be the ultimate derived class in this program. So I have taken this total under the private section, and under the public section I have written what I have written. Let me see, void show result. I have taken a function show result and defined the function inside the class itself, that is total is equal to physics plus chemistry plus maths plus computer science, that is all the marks which are obtained by the student can be easily accessed from this derived class, because it is derived from the exam class, and exam class has the value of physics, chemistry, maths and computer science marks in it. And since this is a derived class from the exam class, it can easily access the marks of the different subjects. So basically I have taken the sum total of all the subjects and assigned the total value into the variable total. After that, I have called the function put data. So put data is a function which can be easily called from this function show result, because along with you can easily find that all the other functions which are written in the public sections of the previous two classes, that is this put data, get data, put data, and then get marks and put marks in the class exam, all will be derived into the class result. So easily this put data and put marks can be accessed by this show result member function, because as you cannot see those functions explicitly inside the class, but by the concept of inheritance it has all been included, or it has all been inherited into those functions are all been inherited into this class result. So this show underscore result function can easily access the put data function and put marks function. So we call the put data function from here and call the put marks function from here to display the value of the to display the name, roll number and the individual marks in physics, chemistry, maths and computer science of a particular student. And after that I have written another function, another statement, that is the total marks obtained is total, that is the total marks which is obtained by a student will be displayed by this expression statement. After that the class ends and we go to the main section and see what I have done. Result S1 S2. So I have created two instances S1 and S2, that is I have created two objects of the class result S1 and S2. That is basically one student is S1 and another student can be thought to be S2, and by S1 dot get data I call the get data function, by which I get the name and the roll number of the student S1. By S1 dot get marks I get the marks of the individual subjects of the student S1, and after that I take this I call this function get data yet another time from the S2 object, that is the number 2 student S2 student, and S2 dot get data fetches the name and roll number of the second student. S2 dot get marks fetches the marks of the individual subjects obtained by the student S2, and after that I have called this show underscore result function once with associated with S1 student and another time associated with S2 student as S1 dot show underscore result and S2 dot show underscore result. After that return 0, and we will expect something out of the program, that is we will get the data values of the roll number, the name, and the marks obtained in physics, chemistry, maths, and computer science individually, as well as the total marks for a particular student in the output of the program. And we also need to input the data from the standard input device by these two function calls, that is the get data and get marks function call from in case of each of the objects, that is S1 and S2. So let's go to build and run and see what is the output of this program and how it functions and whether it functions in the expected way. So let's go to this build and run. I will make this window a little bigger. Enter name. I see enter name. Suppose I can enter a name like this. I enter a name like this, John. After that, enter roll number. So what is roll number? Suppose the roll number I am taking is 12. Enter marks in physics. So I need to enter the marks in physics obtained by John. So this is the John is nothing but the student number S1. I will just drag it a little bit towards the right hand side in order to show you, in order to get you understand properly. So by dragging, the window gets a little bit smaller. Okay, let that be like that. Enter marks in physics. So enter marks in physics. Suppose the John obtained 78 marks in physics. Enter marks in chemistry. Suppose John has obtained 76 in chemistry. So these are some raw data I am just supplying from my side. You can give your data as well from your side. So never mind, enter marks in maths. Suppose John has got 90 in maths, and in computer science John has got suppose 98. So enter name, that is the program is now wanting to know the name of the second instance of the class result, that is the second student. Suppose John and another is Ram. And Ram has a roll number of suppose and make it a little elongated so that we get to see it clearly. Enter roll number of Ram. Ram is suppose having a roll number of 14, and enter the number marks in physics. Ram suppose has got 78 in physics. In chemistry, suppose he has got 86. In maths, suppose he has got 98, and in computer science, suppose he has got 96. And after that I press the enter once again, and I will get all the data which has been taken as the input in this program, in this output window, to be given as an output from this program. So let's see whether the output comes in the perfect way as we have expected from the program. I press the enter and see. The name is John, the roll number is 12, the marks obtained in physics is 78, or obtained in chemistry, marks obtained in chemistry is 76, and so on. And the name is Ram, the roll number is 14, marks obtained in physics is this, marks obtained in chemistry is this one, marks obtained in maths is 98, and so on. The total marks obtained in the case of John is 342. So the sum total of all the marks in all the 4 subjects has been displayed by this total marks obtained is 342 by this line, and whatever total obtained by Ram has been displayed by this line. The total marks obtained is 358. So we see that the output comes in a very desired manner. So what we have expected has been found in the output of this program. So I hope I have made you clear about the concept of the multi-level inheritance and how the data members and member functions can be derived from one class to the other, and so on and so forth in the case of multi-level inheritance, and being used in a very simple manner, and the concept of reusability being explained by this program. So I think it is clear to you. The concept of multi-level inheritance is clear to you, and if you have still any doubts in your mind regarding this entire example, you can well post your doubts and queries into the comment section below so that I can address them. Thanks for watching this video, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to DigiGuide. Thanks again.